Hi everyone, this is week 6 of our Government 2306 course, and this week we will be discussing the topic of elections in Texas. We will start by looking at the types of elections that we conduct here in Texas, and this includes primary elections, which are run by the parties themselves in order to find a statewide nominee for public office. The general election, which is what most of us are familiar with, where we actually select our chosen representatives and leaders, and special elections, which are used to fill vacancies in office, to give approval to borrow money, or to ratify or reject amendments to the Texas Constitution. Next, we will look at the procedure for running as an independent in Texas, which is purposely difficult because of the control that the Republican and to some extent the Democratic parties have over the election process in Texas. We will then look at the specific qualifications for voter registration in Texas, the challenges that have been placed on some of those qualifications, and the role that federal law plays in our election process here in Texas. Next, we will look at the redistricting process, which determines where we vote, and voter turnout, which is how we measure who is voting and who is not. In the era of Republican dominance in Texas politics, it is only natural for us to remember that the winner of the major Republican Party primary races in Texas will almost certainly be the winner of the statewide election at the state level. We will then look at political campaigns, including who runs for office, the role of money and fundraising, the influences of political parties and outside groups, and some specific strategies that are used by candidates to get a leg up on their competition, including the use of certain salient or important topics such as gun control, abortion rights, immigration, health care, education, and public spending, as well as how candidates use the media to get their message to the voting public. As far as work this week, of course, I would like you to please watch the video lecture for the week and make sure that you participate in our discussion, which will be about voter ID laws in Texas. Specifically, we will be addressing the question, should voters be required to present a Texas picture ID as proof of their identity in order to vote in Texas? I'm going to ask you to debate both the pros and the cons of voter ID laws with each other this week. You'll also have current events, assignment number 3 due, and we will complete this in the same way as we have done with the other two. You will download the Word template that I have provided for you and find a current event article using your Writing and Research Resources tab in Blackboard. Be sure that you name your file Current Events number 3 and that you include your last name, then save it in either Doc, DocX, or PDF. That means Word or PDF formats before you submit your work for grading. Also, I have included the reading packet number 3 for you in order for you to prepare for next week's position paper number 3 assignment. Now, this reading packet will discuss the topic of a 1985 law which requires schools and specifically their principals to identify a voter registrar for the school in order to encourage high school students who are eligible to vote to register. The question will be that we will be examining in our documents is, should schools be required to register all eligible students to vote, or is this law an unnecessary intrusion on our high school administrators and school districts? As always, if you have any questions or concerns, please let me know as soon as possible by emailing me or calling me at 915-301-9863. Some of you like to send me messages in Blackboard, but these often take more time for me to discover and reply to. So please use email and our class phone number if you really want to get a hold of me. Have a great week, and I will see you in class or online.